Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the gaming experience on the POCO M8 Pro 5G, and more specifically how it feels to actually play games on it day to day. I spent time with 3 different titles that stresses the phone in different ways, starting with Delta Force, Diablo Immortal, and finally Genshin Impact. So let's get into it. Before getting into the games, just to set the context, this phone comes with a large 6.83-inch AMOLED display running at 120Hz, solid internal hardwares for its class, and a 6500 mAh battery that's clearly meant to handle longer sessions. All of that matters once you start gaming for more than just a few minutes to a time. Starting with Delta Force. This was actually the easiest game for the phone to handle, but it's still a good place to begin because shooters really depend on responsiveness. Right away, the screen makes a difference. The larger size gives you more room to see enemies and movement, and the smooth refresh rate helps everything feel more fluid when you're aiming or turning quickly. Touch response is where the game really feels good on the M8 Pro. Inputs register quickly, swipes feel accurate, and nothing feels delayed when you're reacting in the middle of a firefight. Frame rate stays stable throughout matches, even when things get chaotic. And after playing for a while, the phone only gets slightly warm. It never reaches a point where performance drops or becomes uncomfortable to hold. For fast-paced shooters like this, the experience feels reliable and consistent. Moving on to Diablo Immortal, this is where things starts to get a bit more demanding. There's a lot of elements happening on screen here, especially during intense fights with multiple enemies, skills, and effects going off at the same time. Most would often use games like Mobile Legends or Honor of Kings as a benchmark, but clearly Diablo Immortal is the root of all these games and has the most complex graphics used, which makes this the better benchmark in my honest opinion, in contrast to the other more basic games available on mobile. Animation stays smooth and movement throughout dungeons feels natural. Visual effects are clear. Even when the screen fills up, it doesn't feel overwhelming or messy. I did keep the settings at a balanced level to maintain stability, and with that setup, the game runs comfortably for longer sessions. What stood out to me while playing Diablo Immortal was how consistent the experience felt over time. After the extended gameplay, performance remains steady, and the phone doesn't heat up in a way that affects how it runs. Battery drain also feels reasonable, so you're not constantly worried about needing to plug in after a short session. It's the kind of experience where you can just sit down, relax, grind for a while, and just focus on the game. Now for Genshin Impact, which is usually the toughest test for phones in this range, this is a much heavier game with an open world, detailed environment, and plenty of effects happening at once. On the POCO M8 Pro 5G, Genshin Impact is very playable as long as expectations are set correctly. The visuals look good on the display, and exploring the world is enjoyable. Movement feels responsive, and combat works smoothly most of the time. In more demanding scenes like areas with lots of effects or during intense battles, you might notice a very tiny frame drop, but they're very brief that you could barely see it, and by no means would disrupt the gameplay. What's important here is the phone stays stable. Even after playing Genshin for a longer stretch, it doesn't suddenly slow down or become uncomfortable to use. On a side note, heat management is decent and performance stays predictable, which makes a big difference if you're playing casually or doing daily content rather than pushing everything to the maximum. Now, outside of the pure performance, a couple of other things that really add to the overall gaming experience is, for one, you have stereo speakers that are crazy loud. They are clear enough that you don't need headphones to stay immersed. Whether it's hearing footsteps in a shooter game or sound effects in an RPG, it's that immersive. The battery life is also a strong point. You can get through long gaming sessions without stressing about charging, and when you do need to plug it in, the fast 100-watt fast charger that comes in a box gets you back into the game quickly. So after spending time with these 3 games on the POCO M8 Pro 5G, to be honest, this is actually quite the shocker because the M series was never really considered as the gaming phone. Normally it would be the X series or the F series, so having to experience all 3 titles on the M series this year is quite shocking. In the grander scheme of things, it's not exactly trying to replace high-end gaming phones, but for everyday gaming across different genres, the POCO M8 Pro 5G delivers a balanced and dependable experience. If you're someone who plays a mix of competitive games, this phone handles that variety very well. And that's pretty much it for my gaming experience review with the POCO M8 Pro 5G. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them as well. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Stay tuned for my full review coming soon on the channel. And as always, if you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next.